Most Americans probably never expected a tech billionaire and a former president to lock horns in a public feud powerful enough to shake political foundations. But that's where we are, with Elon Musk and Donald Trump embroiled in a social media war so severe it's adding fuel to fears of national division. Today, I'll walk you through how this feud has escalated, why experts warn it could contribute to a broader U.S. civil conflict, and what chances exist that America might face another civil war, not in the traditional sense, but in a digital and ideological sense that threatens democratic stability. It began with a whirlwind alliance. Musk donated heavily to Trump's 2024 campaign and even served briefly in the White House, leading the Department of Government Efficiency. That alliance turned sour when Musk criticized Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, calling it a disgusting abomination. WashingtonPost.com +3 Independent.co.uk +3 Yahoo.com +3 N.Wikipedia.org +5 TheDailyBeast.com +5 WashingtonPost.com +5. Trump retaliated, accusing Musk of losing his mind and threatening to cancel government contracts, including those critical to SpaceX and Tesla. WashingtonPost.com +1 TheDailyBeast.com +1. The feud detonated publicly on X, formerly Twitter, Musk's own platform. Musk insinuated Trump was connected to Epstein files, a claim he later deleted. Axios.com +15 AppNews.com +15 NiPost.com +15. Trump responded with threats, consequences, contract cancellations, and personal attacks. Musk, in turn, mocked Trump's derangement syndrome, teased the decommissioning of a Dragon spacecraft, and suggested support for alternative leadership in the GOP. AppNews.com +1 NiPost.com +1. What started as policy disagreement became a public spat layered with personal insults and political sabotage. Leaving aside personalities, the implications are far more profound. Trump isn't just a former president, he represents tens of millions of Americans who view him as a movement, a symbol of right-wing populism. Musk isn't merely a businessman, he's a cultural titan with influence over the digital public square and boasts billions in wealth. Their conflict risks splitting political loyalties across tech elites and grassroots parties, corporate and worker divides, and digital echo chambers. Suddenly, the GOP, and American political identity, is being pulled in two directions. On one side are those who see Musk's advocacy for electric vehicle subsidies and unlimited government as existential to technology and innovation. On the other are Trump loyalists who view Musk's criticisms as betrayals of populist priorities and attacks on MAGA dogma. PBS.org +12 meters.economictimes.com +12 TheDailyBeast.com +12. It's a philosophical clash of technocracy versus populism, deep, structural, and potentially explosive. To understand whether this could snowball into civil conflict, let's look closer at indicators of political violence and polarization in the U.S. Political violence in the lead-up to the 2024 election reached worrying levels. Incidents rose from 2017 through 2020, with Election Day seeing prepared National Guard deployments in multiple states. Vox.com +4 N.Wikipedia.org +4 N.Wikipedia.org +4 TheGuardian.com. While only a fraction of Americans openly support violence, millions have expressed moderate support. Surveys revealed about one-third feel violence can be justified to protect their preferred outcome. Nationalist and survivalist groups are preparing for civil war. The living Nostradamus recently predicted a slow-motion civil war involving economic collapse and digital currency control. EconomicTimes.IndiaTimes.com. The real threat today isn't muskets and trenches, it's polarization itself. The Musk-Trump feud worsens three core drivers: ideological echo chambers, institutional trust decay, and readiness for conflict. Take online platforms. X amplifies extreme viewpoints. Bots and algorithms polarize communities by reinforcing content extremes. NiPost.com +10 WashingtonPost.com +10 Forbes.com +10 Archive.org. Musk amplifies some narratives, Trump triggers others. The result? Digital tribalism with political violence waiting to ignite. Then there's institutional breakdown. Trump deployed National Guard troops in Los Angeles without state approval, first time in 6 decades, fueling fears of authoritarian overreach. Independent.co.uk +2 TheGuardian.com +2 Axios.com +2. Politicians threaten military intervention over policing policy. Add extremists across both left and right, from Proud Boys to Antifa-linked attackers, and institutional trust frays faster than ever. So, do I think we're headed into a literal American Civil War? Highly unlikely. Modern analysts like Barbara Walter argue that a full-scale modern civil war, even a media depiction like Civil War, is improbable. The military remains loyal, state and federal checks still hold, and a vast majority reject violence. But a civil conflict of another kind, a digitally amplified ideological split followed by episodic violence, seems much more possible. From extremist book bans, school threats, clinic attacks, to Capitol rioters, small-scale politically motivated violence happens frequently. The Musk-Trump feud doesn't add new threats, but it supercharges tensions, reshaping online battlefields and political fault lines. Here's what to watch moving forward. Will MAGA voters be torn between Trump's populism and Musk's tech influence? Will Musk's departure from federal advisory roles signal a broader break between Silicon Valley and the GOP? Could Trump escalate this conflict into actual policy moves, like shutting down government contracts or using law enforcement? Will Musk retaliate, through political funding, sabotage, or establishing a new political movement? That last point is critical. Musk has floated a new political party, potentially helping realign America with a technocratic, centrist anti-establishment current Forbes.com +2 TheDailyBeast.com +2 WashingtonPost.com +2. This threatens to fracture the conservative coalition, turning Trump's vote base into splinter camps. Disinformation would spread, trust deteriorate, and political violence could jump from abstract to real with protests, militia threats, or election disruption. None of this amounts to a widespread U.S. civil war. But glimpses exist, a digital cold civil war, weaponized rhetoric turned street violence. If unchecked, these tensions could grow dangerous. Respect for democracy, truth, institutions, and civic dialogue must be rekindled. Here's the bottom line: America isn't heading into 1860s-style war. But it could fall into a modern, unstable democidal spiral, where fragmentation, mistrust, and violence feed off each other. The Musk-Trump feud is the latest catalyst. If Americans allow influence battles, tech populism wars, and leadership breakdowns to fester, the democracy we know may fracture, bit by bit, tweet by tweet, protest by protest.